I came across this beautiful photograph the other day, which was taken by somebody local to where I live. These cows in the shade, just sleeping away there. So I thought this would be quite a nice photograph to have a go at painting. They're just so cute, these animals. But look at the range of colours I've got. It's going to be tricky, really. I've got the nice sort of brown of the cow in the foreground and the young calf and the white in the back. But the challenge for me is to get these whites, that's causing it to go out of focus, but on the top of the cow there at the back, and the light on his back, and then the trees to the in the background there, and the light just to the left there. I must try and catch that, get a nice contrast, and the greens. So I've got to keep it light, but make sure I get the darks of those boughs. So I think I'm going to have a go at that today. It's a little bit different, but a rural scene, certainly. Have a go at painting these cows, though. Well, you can see, I think, there a rough sketch of the cows. So I've got to get a light wash, light green wash in predominantly, but very, very light, because I want a little bit of the sky to come through in parts. So I'm just going to do a very light wash here, wet on, dry, really. Just vary the tones a little bit. With what have I got? This is a 1-inch brush here. Just using those colours that I've got on my palette here. So I think I'm going to work fairly quick today. Well, they usually take an hour or so, but I'm going to see if I can speed up the process a little bit here. Can you see the cows there? Just left a few bits of light. So this is my initial wash. I'm going to do a series of washes. I want to keep that cow in the background there. A bit white, so I've got a damp brush. Just clean it a little bit. Right. It's got to get a lot more vivid greens, of course, as I go. Because we've got to vary it a lot. With green, so much green, it can be a little bit overwhelming for the viewer. For the artist, it's challenging as well. So although it is predominantly green, I can just make a few adjustments. Now let's look at my reference again. Question is, do I put in my cows right away? Yes, I think I will. Let's get them in so we've got some idea of the tonal values I'm dealing with. Now let's get a little different brush. I think I'm going to go with a number 10 graduate one here. So I've got a bit of raw sienna, I think. and a little bit of light red to, you see on my palette there, look. I thought this one for the foreground here. This little old chap here. So I've got to get some different shades in so we can get some shape to it. I've shaded a little bit out on my paper there just to try and remind me of some of the values on the side of his face there, and got to get some darker browns into it, of course, under here, on his belly as well, to give him some shape. And as it's wet on wet now, you get some nice sort of diffusion of colour. So a little dark under there, and some little dark areas on his trunk there, on his back. Right. And also down there. That's it. Let's soften up this transition from this darker area to that lighter area. Let's leave that, and some darker areas there, and a little bit on his ears, going there. Right. And then I've got this these cows in the background there. So they are very pale, almost greyish, grey-white. So let's put a little bit of blue in that. Yes. A little trick here, that one. Dark here. And then I need something to contrast with that other one there. His ears there. And there's one here actually. He's hiding, he's having a good old nap here. So I'm going to make him a slightly different colour, a little bit of black and white there. There we go. That's, again, I'm varying the colours all around there. And we've got to put some darks in the guy's nose there, and the eyes too. We've got to get the eyes in there. Now the question is, should I add a little bit more contrast, I think. Yes, let's do that. And this guy here, he's just, they're all huddled up together here. Let's make this guy's back a little bigger. That's it. Come down like that. Right, now let's get some of the greenery in. I think we need to get some in. We're going to put some branches in here. I've got lots of different greens here. My sap green. But I think I need got to get this. I think we'll go to our Chinese brush. So I've got quite a lot of ground to cover. Trying to vary the brush marks as well. And we've got more darks here. You'll see when I put the boughs in of the tree here, this little bit of shade these cattle have found. If your green is a little too green, you can take it down a little bit with some brown, some umber. So I think I'm going to do that. Got to paint up around the shape of the cows. Right, here we go. We've got a starting to take a shape. I'm going to put a lot of stiffer paint in there in a moment. But let's get some brighter general wash in there. Right. How does that go? Yes, that's killed off a lot of that white for the moment. Now I think we should get in with some of the tree trunks. They have to be quite dark because they're set against the bright of these cows. They're in shade, but there's bits of bright light shooting through. That's it. And there were because my leaves and my foliage is all wet, I'm getting a very diffused edges, soft edges of my tree, and I need to tighten that up actually. When it's a bit drier, I can do that with some thicker paint, a little drier. But this will get me a little bit of a start on some of the branches and the big old boughs here. There's another one there. They come off like this. Right. And when it's wet, we can drop some different colours in here. Right. Yes. Let's get some darks. Excuse me. I can just about see some of the pencil marks that I made. So we'll be able to cover over some of this with our stiffer mixture of greens. But I just want to put in some general shapes. This Chinese brush has got a lovely tip to it. Can you see there? I can manipulate that a little better, get some finer marks in. One there, that's right. How's it coming? I would normally wait a little bit longer actually for it to dry before I put in some of these dark marks, but I want to be a bit quicker today. Just to make the video a little bit shorter. Of course I can edit my video, no problem with that, but I like to show the progress all the way through rather than cutting it and speeding it up, which sometimes that's what you have to do. I like to show the whole process, really. That's it. Right. Right, let's think about this now. Do I need a little bit more dark in that cow, perhaps? Yes, and that's bled into there. Didn't really want that, so let's take a stiffish brush, a little bit of water, and lift that out a little bit. I think I need to put in a different colour for that cow. I think it's rather lost. Let's get some brown in for him. Right. Now, I think it's time for a little bit of stippling with try and get some of the foliage in. So let's see what we can do. I think we'll put in some more fine branches later. So I'm just going to try and some different tree, some branches and some yellows. Get some different greens in here. Let's get a little bit of yellow in this. Change it up. Again, put some brown in it, in your mixture if it's too green, too vivid. Some springy green here. And what I want down in here is some shafts of nice yellow coming, because it's in the sunlight there, shafts of light are coming. So I'll soften those edges up a little bit. We've got to get more out here, and let's go for a bigger brush. So I'm just putting the different layers of green, and then we'll come over with some fine details and develop these branches more. They read a little better than they are at the moment. So I'm just covering up some of those. So I've got a bit of hookers here, but let's put a bit of ultramarine in it as well. Make it darker. That's what we need, really. And then you can put a little ochre in your mix. Little yellow ochre in that. That'll give you a different sort of green as well. Some ochre straight into that, I think. Split the brush up a little. Right. Now let's again change. Got a little bit of orange in my green mixture there. Get some warmth in these areas. I think I'm going to have another look at the cows in a minute and try and define them a little better. Some various colours. Let's get something more in this foreground. Bit of negative painting there, look. I'm painting around my sketch of the cows so you can see them a bit better. But we'll improve that as we go. Let's get some more of this, some of these greens in here with my Chinese brush. A little bit of browns there. So there we go. Right. Let's stand back a minute and have a little look. See how we're doing. I think I need to call up my reference picture a little bit. Give me some there. Right. I'm standing up as I paint, which is, some people like to sit, but I like, if you stand, you're more tempted to stand back and assess what's a better overall view of it. You need to stand back, squint your eyes, think, where shall I have my darks? I wonder if I'm too late to get a little bit of blue to just, I think I might be able to get away with that odd bit of blue here. I hint that we're getting a bit of sky showing. Just a little hint. A little bit of cerulean there. Right. Now let's let's get back to my reference again. Which I've got on my laptop. Yes, I think I need some fine grasses and define those trees a little darker in places. Yes, I think we can probably do that now. And I can see some nice yellows as well, nice brightish yellow. Let's get that into the scene here. It's lemon yellow. Got some stiffest mixture now coming, and it's various parts of the foliage where you get these bright yellows and greens. So, and a few bits here I can take advantage of these little white areas I've left and put some of the lights in, the light yellows. Yes, I think I might have to come back with some gouache and define that cow there. It definitely needs something a little different there. And some fine brushwork I think we need with a little fine rigger. I've got here a little rigger. Can you see this one here? This is a number 3 gradual rigger. So I'm going to get some nice darks going. Some Payne's grey mixed with a little umber, and try and define some more of this foliage. These branches coming. Yes, we can do that. Get a lot of different branches and colours. And here we've got some really come right out into the foliage there. So it gradually comes together if you give it a chance. Don't give up. You think, oh yes, got lots of twigs and things to do in the foreground. And do a lot of that. We've got to make sure darker at the bottom of our trees and our shrubs, because that's the way it is. It's always a much darker. If you have a nice rigger, gives you this lovely random, it's got a lot of spring to the hair, so you get some sort of randomness into it. But there were definitely a lot of striking straight sticks here which were standing out against the greens. do that. I think we need to beef up some of the darks though, in places, I think. Where that's coming there, meeting that trunk. And the bracken and that tree there, look, we need to give a better edge to that. Yes, that's much better. Now, right, let's get I think we need a better brush. Yeah, that's right, that'll give us a little bit more control. Sometimes you'll need control, other times you want to keep it loose and let a bit of randomness come into your brushwork. That's it. Oh, yes, we're getting some sort of measure of the tree there. Some big, strong trunk here. Rather big one, so let's make sure we've got it. Yes, get some mixture of my greens now, but take the absolute raw green bit, got out of it sometimes with a bit of brown. Let's get some different foliage in here. I want light and dark. I've got a little bit of light here, so I need to make some darks here. Perhaps come over this trunk a little bit as well, as they will do. The leaves and the ivy grow up trees like this. Get a nice stiff mixture like this. Some Hooker's green there, bit of raw umber, makes a nice darkish green. Right, how are we going? So let's, we need more in this foreground now. To give you some interest. Actually, I can use my fan brush as well to get some sort of random colours going and shapes, but I think I need to put those cattle in now. I think I need something a bit striking. I think I'm going to go for a change from my reference picture. I'm going to make this cow a nice reddish animal. As I said, he's here. See, we've got a real striking colour. His rear end here. Getting a bit of light. Now with the shape of his head, he was pretty much snoozing actually. So we don't see a lot of them really. And it's very tempting when you paint to paint what you think, you know, this is a cow shape, you say to yourself. And it doesn't always work out. You better just paint what you see. That's a good tip, I think. Right. Right, let's go with that, I think. I need to go back and look at my reference, see if I can get a bit more guidance on the cow. His head was down here, sort of hiding behind this one in the foreground. But let's give this fellow a little bit more colour. Take a little bit of the glare out of that white blaze there. It's a little bit too prominent. So let's try and give him his nose and a little shape there. Right, there we go. He's looking at us now. Let's define his ear a little bit more. And this one as well. Right. You could spend lots of time doing this if you wish, and sometimes that's what you've got to do, but it's what the style of painting you want. If you want it sort of fairly loose and expressionistic, it's perhaps wrong to overdo it. some shadow under this cow here, or young calf really, just a youngster, so he's not that big. Let's try and soften out a bit there. Right, I think this is... now let me think, how does it read? Can you see that cow there? Or do I need to put some darker elements in? I think I do. This one here. He's just lying down here, having a good old snooze. Yes, that's what I think we need to do. It's not so clear unless I delineate him a little. This guy's shadow under there. And I think that needs to be a bit under there as well. Yes, they're really all in a bit of a huddle, aren't they? All cuddling up, having an afternoon nap, I think. Right, let's have a look at my reference again. This is coming across very bright here in my, when I look through my camera. A little too bright, because it's reflecting from my studio lights, which are sort of downlighters right above my head there. So they do distort it somewhat. It gives a bit of a too bright a view. Again, just taking a variety of colours from my palette here, but let's see if I can get some sort of texture with my fan brush in a minute. Let's go and get that, I think. Let's find that. And where is it? Yes. Oh, excuse me. Lining 20. Yes, I think so. Yes, we need a little bit of texture in the foreground. So I've got my fan brush here. So I'm going to get some nice little random texture going here. Yes, I think we can do that. Get some nice sort of foliage effects. I think I'm going to put a little bit of white gouache in that back cow here as well to try and delineate his his shape a bit better. So we can do that. It's a little darker here in my picture, but as I said before, just because it's in your picture, in your photograph, doesn't mean you have to be a slave to that by any means. Always say, what can I do now to improve it as a painting? If you chase the photograph, it's often you're disappointed. You might have got close to, in some ways, what your photograph was, but for some reason it doesn't read. I think I've learned since I've been painting now that it doesn't always work to chase the photograph. So let's just almost leave this. Let's get onto that gouache and see if we can make something of this cow. Yes, we've got quite a lot of texture going on here. Right, how's that? Again, always light and dark. I'm squinting my eyes and I can see I need my darks to make this bride of this cow come up here. So I need lots of interest in the foreground. So again, I'll vary the colours here. I've got some lovely oranges, which will give me some nice grasses, some textures. Especially if I flick them up like that. You want every area of your picture to have some interest. Right, let's get onto that gouache to see if we can make this cow read a little bit better. Let's get my reference back again. Keeps disappearing from my computer. There it is. Oh, I see now what we need to do. Let's get some white going and shape this cow a lot better. So cleaning my brush well and dip straight into the pot and get a good bit of yes, we need this. I think we need I can transform him again. A different shape. Cow. He's not looking at us. Be aware of that. He's just snoozing away here. Actually, I think these were the probably Charolais, which are a French breed, I think, originally. Lovely animals. So they're often sort of creamy, sort of pinky colour, or sandy sometimes. They do vary a little bit. As I said, we're just looking at the back of him really, the rear end. And this one, he's got a little white on his foreleg there, a bit more white on his rump there as well. And yes, it's the back of this fellow's head, I think. We could see if we can do something to kind of shape his head a little there. Right. I think we need a slightly stronger colour on this cow so it reads better. But we need light and dark, otherwise we're not going to have any form to it. So there he is. Can we see him there? Right. Let's get a little bit more green in some of these areas. Cover over that. Got a lot of bracken and foliage growing up here. But as I said, I might do a lot more to this when I'm finished filming. But I think I'm going to call a halt there. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing here, if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing as well, because that helps the channel grow as well. That's nothing like a bit of encouragement for me to see that people are actually enjoying it, getting something out of it, maybe tempted to go and get some paints themselves and have a go. It's a great hobby, very therapeutic and a lot of fun. So there we are, we've got these cows in this meadow, just taking a break in the shade. There we go. There we are then. Thanks for watching.